The first night it happened, Emily thought she was dreaming. A faint knock echoed from the wall beside her bed, 3 slow, deliberate taps. She told herself it was the old house settling, or maybe the neighbors. But the house was at the end of a dirt road, and the nearest neighbor was a mile away. On the second night, the knocking came again. This time, it was faster, urgent, like someone desperate to get her attention. She pressed her hand to the cold plaster wall and whispered, "Who's there?" Silence. Then, as if directly inside her head, a whisper answered, "Emily." Her heart froze. No one knew she had moved in yet, not even her friends. By the third night, she couldn't sleep. The knocking began as soon as the clock struck 3 a.m. She counted 13 knocks, always 13. Then a pause. Then a faint dragging sound, like fingernails scraping across the inside of the wall. Terrified, Emily finally gathered the courage to investigate. She pulled her bed away from the wall and noticed a small crack running vertically in the plaster. With trembling hands, she pried at it until a section crumbled away. Behind the wall was darkness and empty cavity. Except it wasn't empty. Shoved inside the narrow space was a bundle of bones wrapped in rotting fabric. A jaw hung open as if mid-scream, eye sockets wide and staring. The fingernails were worn down to nothing, the tips bloody even in death. Emily stumbled back, choking on a scream, when the voice whispered again, louder this time, echoing from behind her. "You found me, now let me out." Then the floorboards groaned, and the closet door, which she hadn't noticed before, swung open, revealing a staircase spiraling into darkness. The air grew colder. Goosebumps erupted on Emily's skin. Was she really hearing this? Had she lost her mind? The only sound now was the relentless pounding of her own heart. Taking a deep breath, she forced herself to look away from the closet and focus on the bones in her hands. Maybe if she could figure out who they belonged to, she could figure out what was happening. Carefully, she brought them closer to the light. One bone caught her eye, or rather what was left of it. It was a human finger, and it had a wedding ring. Brushing away the grime, she saw the inscription, "To my darling wife, always and forever, Edward." Emily's stomach lurched. Edward, that was the name the house had been listed under in the property records. But he'd lived here 100 years ago. What was he doing whispering to her from inside the wall? And why did he want out? A low growl rumbled from the closet, and the bones in her hands began to shake. Emily whirled around. The closet was empty. Tentatively, she stepped closer. "Hello, is anyone there?" Silence. She peered into the darkness, then forced herself to take another step forward. Suddenly, a pair of glowing eyes materialized in the gloom. They were huge, like a cat's, except there was something predatory about them that sent a chill down her spine. A low growl rumbled again, vibrating through the floorboards and up her legs. Whatever was in that closet wanted out, and it was getting impatient. Emily knew she should run, call the police, get away from this house with its whispering walls and malevolent spirits. But something was pulling her toward the closet, some morbid curiosity mixed with adrenaline. When she screamed, it was too late. A large, clawed hand shot out and grabbed her ankle. Its grip was like iron. She cried out and tried to pull away. But something else shot out and tackled her, sending the bones clattering to the floor. Emily lay on her back, staring up at the swirling darkness as the creature loomed over her. The stench of decay filled her nostrils, and the creature opened its mouth to reveal rows upon rows of sharp, pointed teeth. "Let me out," it rasped, its voice a chilling echo of Edward's. "I want out." Emily screamed again, but the sound died in her throat as the creature leaned closer, its hot, fetid breath washing over her face. The last thing she remembered was the feeling of being dragged into the darkness. Now, when the new owner moved into the house at the end of the dirt road, she found an old diary in the attic. The leather cover had no title, but the first entry dated back to 1894. As she read through it, she realized it belonged to Edward, the previous owner. He wrote of his undying love for his wife, Amelia, and how he planned to build her a special room in their home, in his own words, so that she would be close to him forever. He poured his heart and soul into the project, enlisting the help of the town's best craftsmen to make sure every detail was perfect. But as the diary entries continued, his words became more frantic, more desperate. He wrote of sacrifices he'd made to ensure Amelia's spirit would be bound to him and the house forever. And then the final entry, dated March 1895, told of how his beloved Amelia had died and how he would join her soon. It spoke of a ritual he planned to perform, a way to bind them together beyond death, to keep her with him always. The last line read, "Tonight we will be together in our special place forever. No one will ever disturb us again." The new owner shuddered. realizing with horror that the special place Edward had built was the closet in the bedroom where she slept, and whatever he'd done to Amelia hadn't kept her spirit confined. In fact, she'd been whispering to the new owner the entire time, trying to warn her, begging her to leave, but it was too late. Now Emily and Amelia were trapped in the house together forever.